Hi guys, this is Lazy Admin and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the previous videos, we discussed about how to install and configure Zabbix over a CentOS 8 machine. So now we have this CentOS configured for Zabbix and it just works fine for us. So let's see our installation first. Uh, let's open up our Zabbix front end, and if you guys remember the IP, actually I don't remember the IP. What was the IP? Let's first find out the IP right now. Oh, sorry. I will go to the terminal and this is a better command. Okay, what was our IP? So this was ENS 133. Yeah, this is our IP. So we'll open the front end of Zabbix server. As you can see, we already opened it. So here it is. So here how it looks like. So when we were finished installing the Zabbix server, I told you now we have to monitor uh, uh, the machines, like virtual machines or the servers or the switches, the physical hosts. So how we are going to monitor it? We are going to monitor it through hosts. So we need to add the hosts in here. Just like any other NPM, you have to actually add the number of nodes here that you want to monitor. As you can see here, there is already one node here that is Zabbix server itself, and it says ZBX. It is basically agent that is running on the Zabbix server that is feeding all the information to the Zabbix front end. As you can see it here, it works like this. Before jumping in to the configuration, let me show you how the Zabbix actually takes all this information. So guys, here it goes. The Zabbix server basically can fetch the information in two ways. As I have shown you, this is the let's say this is the Zabbix server, and these are two clients. One way is the Zabbix server becomes the poller, and it will ask the client that tell me all the informations that you have. Uh, for argument's sake, the RAM, the memory, the CPU, latest information about the client machine. In this way, it uses port 10050 and it acts as a poller. Another one is it acts as a trapper, where it will use a port 0051 and it works in an active configuration. If you see here, it will this here the in this way the client will actually have Zabbix agent installed over it, and that Zabbix agent actually will send all the information to the Zabbix server. So the thing is, which one is better actually? Obviously, the active version is better because in this case, the Zabbix server just have to be fed with all the information. Rather than pulling back the information, Zabbix server is getting the information. So uh, less burden for the server to work. This way it works better. So let's see how this active configuration works. Well, as I've already told you that you can go to the zabbix.com and here you can go or download agents. There you will find all the agents for uh, the OS distributions that you have, like Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and it has for every one of them. So you can basically configure any one of them. The Windows one, it works on the servers as on the client machines like Windows operating systems. So you have to download the Zabbix client based on the Zabbix server version. So right now we are running 5.0, and so we will download this 5.0 version. So if you look at here, here it is, download agent. So we'll just click download agent, and that's it. It will download the agent for us. So as you can see, it has downloaded the agent. I have already downloaded the Zabbix agent, and the zip file that I got, uh, I unzipped it and put it in this folder named Zabbix. In this folder, you will find two folders again: bin, binary files, and the configuration. Binary file will have the agent, and conf will have the configuration files. So we need to basically edit the configuration file first. I will show you how to edit the configuration file. So here is agentd.conf. So basically here we have to edit a few things before moving on. As you can see, I've already opened up the file in Notepad, and here we have to just tune a few parameters in here. That is basically the server IP that we will put in here. Let's find out where is the server. Yeah, if you can see here, it's written 127.0.0.1. That is loopback address. So we'll change it to the server IP. So as we can recall, 192.168.8.145. So sorry, I forgot one dot. So this is the server IP that we are going to use for Zabbix. This is our Zabbix server basically. So I'm just confirming that I got the same IP. Yep. So that's it. And there's one more parameter in here, server active. So basically you can use the host name as well or the IP. Currently we are in a lab environment, so I'm preferring I will use the IP. And that's it. We will save the file and we will exit from here. Out of the bin folder, we need agent.d file that we will copy and put it outside from there. So right now, what else we have to do? We will click on file, open a Windows PowerShell or a command prompt. Both will work fine. So whichever you want to use, you can use both. So you have to write a command Zabbix agent.d.exe. Minus C stands for configuration file, the file that we have copied to actually we copied to the outside of the folder, and Zabbix agent.d.conf where we changed the IP to the server IP, and hyphen hyphen install is the parameter. So we'll hit enter. So actually, I have already installed Zabbix agent in my previous installation, so that's why it threw me error. But uh, the agent is installed. I will show you where it is installed. For that purpose, we will open uh, services.msc. So I will show you how to open services.msc. Services.msc, and you will hit enter. It will open for you all the services that are running on a Windows system. If I head back to my PowerShell window, I will write here a command name host name, and it will give me a host name for this particular machine. So it called DCLPT. So this is basically the host name I have, and I need to know the IP as well. So IP configs slash SLS IPv4 address. Oh, sorry. Uh, So my IP here is 192.168.8.150. So now I will use this information, the host name and the IP, to add the host in here in the configuration. So here is our host name, dc-lpt, and you can put any visible name, uh, any name you want to put, you like, that give you a hint what machine you are monitoring. So you can give it any name. I'll say my laptop, and you can group all these machines if you want to. So I will put it in a group. This is a mandatory field, so I will put it in uh, what you call discovered host. So it's a discovered host. Agent IP. What is the IP for the agent? So we got the IP 8.150. So I will use the same IP. Here goes the IP. The DNS name is the same. DC. And here we are going to add it. Monitored by proxy? No, there is no proxy in here. So add, the host is actually added, and we can see if we come here and click again on this host, it's still not shown as available right now, but after some time it will fetch the information. We have to make sure that port 10050 and 10051 is allowed. So if you come here in the template section, here you can give the templates that are pre-built custom templates. I have already told you that Zabbix is customizable to enterprise level. So Zabbix have its community from where you can download all the templates that you are going to monitor. For argument's sake, let's hit select, and that's it, select here. So which templates I'm going to use? So basically database modules, template modules, virtualization, server, operating system. Let's say we want to monitor, this is an operating system that we want to monitor. So I'll click operating system. It will give me a list of operating systems. So we know that we are in OS Windows, template OS Windows by Zabbix agent. You can go to the, you can refer to the templates of Zabbix community, and there it will show you what it will monitor in this exact template. So I can select this one, or you can select multiple templates also. So let's select that and update it. This template will be pushed into the configuration. So here it's applied, and in the meantime let me check the firewall. My computer is enabled or disabled. Just give me a second. Yeah, actually firewall on on my laptop was enabled, so I can just disable it for the sake of simplicity. Okay, guys, actually, I found out the issue. It was actually very lame, as I was explaining to you that when you go add a host, you have to be very cautious about the host name, and the host name was DC-LPT, and I put it LTP. So the agent was actually trying to communicate it, and it didn't work out in that way. So it has to be this LPT. Okay. One more thing, you have to keep the firewall disabled or add a rule in the firewall to allow this port 10050. So once this port is enabled, it can take the updates. So now the host is updated, and we can go towards monitoring and dashboard. Dashboard will show you the recent events. You can customize the dashboard as per your own liking. So let's go head over to the hosts, and here we have laptop. So as you can see the latest data, problems, graphs, we can check the latest data. So we'll click latest data, and you will see here a lot of things like CPU utilization, number of processes that are working, memory that is being used. So how much memory, how much free memory is available. So a lot of information you will see here, uptime. So it's really customizable. If you want more information, you can basically add in more templates in there. So I told you how it works. So it's as simple as that, and it's really useful. Plus it gives you a lot of performance matrices. You can just configure it once. I know it's hectic, you have to configure it. Once it is configured, it would make your life a lot easier, and with the click of an eye or a glimpse of an eye, you will see where exactly the problems is. uh, any of your server is running short on the storage, or your server needs more RAM or CPU processor. So it's a really useful tool for you guys. People are using it for a lot of purposes, and I have told you it will literally work on anything. It can work on any version of Linux OS, literally any version. And now I've looked around over the WebEx website. I will show you something. If you look at here, they have now install packages. They were offering install packages that we have downloaded from here. You can see here they have cloud images as well. So basically you can download the cloud image and give it and put it in your cloud service provider, and you can just run Zabbix there. You can run it in as a container as well. So do look for this. This is really amazing thing. If people do not want to go into the hassle of installing Zabbix, like we have done in the previous video, you can just download an appliance. It's all pre-configured, pre-built, everything with the OS, and you just download the appliance, like for the VMware VMX or the Open Virtualization format, or for Hyper-V, whichever suits you, or for KVM. So you download this and you just run it as a virtual machine, and you don't have to go into the hassle of creating installing an OS and then worrying about the dependencies and installing that things. So it is this simple. So I hope you guys give it a try. Zabbix appliances with. I am a little old-fashioned guy. I want to keep my things organized. So I do prefer installing my own customized version of OS and then install Zabbix over it. So it gives me the benefit that I know how the tuning I have done. So you probably you prefer the appliance way. It all depends upon your taste and your liking. So that's it, folks. This is all we have for today's video, and I hope you have liked. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment in the down section. And uh, if it helped you any in any way in your in your career or in your job, please subscribe and like this video. Thank you and have a nice day.